Most embarrassing records in Football Premier League history. Every player enters the Premier League intending to make history. With an unprecedented 260 goals, Alan Shearer set a new record. Ryan Giggs amassed 162 assists and, with 13 titles, experienced more success than any other player. However, there is always a possibility of being remembered for the wrong reasons. Several undesirable records may not be broken for some time, whether it be due to a lack of discipline, a propensity for scoring own goals, or just an incredibly terrible season like Derby County's 2007 and 2008 season. In light of this, we've put together a list of unfortunate performances that the players and teams involved would want to forget. Just so you know, Richard Dunne holds two of the records on our list. From a team that let a 4-goal lead slip to a player that has faced the most relegations, here are the most embarrassing records in football. Number 1. Most passes without an assist. Jorginho. In 2019, Chelsea star Jorginho set a new Premier League record for the most passes made in one Premier League season without recording a single assist. Leon Britton of Swansea served as the previous holder. He completed 2,332 passes after a game against Tottenham. They won the game, but the main talk was about Jorginho and his bizarre record. Jorginho made a strong start to life at Stamford Bridge, but as he tried to keep up with the tempo of the Premier League, his performance plummeted. He later turned things around though and played a key role in subsequent standout displays against Manchester City and Spurs in that season. Jorginho currently holds the record for the most passes made in a Premier League season without registering a single assist. It doesn't look like that record will be broken anytime soon. Number 2. Most own goals. Richard Dunne. It takes a lot of hard work to win Manchester City's Player of the Year award 4 years in a row. Before retiring in 2015, Dunne played in central defence for various teams like Everton, Villa, QPR and City while earning 80 caps for Ireland. He also has the equally outstanding record for the most red cards given in Premier League history, with 10 own goals scored across his career. He's tied with Patrick Vieira and Duncan Ferguson on the red card record. With nearly 430 games played, 107 clean sheets, 11 goals scored, and the coveted record of 10 own goals, he is a true Premier League veteran, a distinction which any defender would be happy with. Number 3. The team with the most shots on goal in a defeat. Who else will make it through 35 attempts and yet suffer a 1-0 home defeat? Is it Arsenal? Yes, it is. Bobby Zamora's goal gave West Ham a 1-0 victory at the Emirates, which helped them maintain their position in the league. Number 4. The only team to let a 4-goal lead slip. You must have wondered which EPL club let a 4-goal lead slip through their fingers. The intriguing or not so interesting part about it is that both teams scored their 4 goals in each half of the game. We have seen clubs and teams blow 2-goal leads and 3-goal leads over the years, but a 4-goal lead seems to be the pinnacle. Arsenal of North London bottled a 4-goal lead over Newcastle United in 2011. Arsenal scored 4 goals in the first half of the game to establish themselves as the superior team. Things were already going south for Alan Pardew's team in the opening minute of the match as Theo Walcott scored Arsenal's first goal after receiving a through pass from Andre Arshavin. Johan Giroud headed in Arshavin's free kick 2 minutes later to increase their lead over Newcastle. In the 10th minute, Robin van Persie made his first addition by guiding his shot past Stephen Harper. After just 26 minutes of play, the attacker slipped between Fabrizio Colaccini and Mike Williams to make it 4-0. Newcastle entered the tunnel with their heads down as the halftime whistle had already been blown. As things were going to improve, Newcastle roared out from the interval like a roaring lion. Arsenal central defender Giroud was forced to leave the game after 48 minutes, while Abu Diaby was dismissed for putting his hand on Joey Barton's neck and knocking him to the ground. The Gunners were down a man and things were starting to look awful. It didn't take long for the Magpies to come back from 4 goals behind to tie the game in the second half. The Toon Army fought back in the second half, making it a whole different game. Temperamental Barton quickly scored a penalty and then Leon Best and Cheuk Chiot both scored to give Newcastle a chance. Joey Barton then successfully converted another penalty, and the game was finally tied by temperamental Barton's last-second equaliser. Over the years, there have been numerous instances of 3-goal leads being blown, but 4? Only Arsenal has accomplished that, and they did it in one of the all-time classic Premier League matches. Number 5, the player to hit the woodwork the most times. Although 44 denials by the uprights by Robin van Persie may not be the worst record ever, the Dutchman can still consider himself quite unfortunate. Number 6, shortest Premier League career. The absurdity of this figure is highlighted by the fact that most top-tier players would find it depressing and shameful to play less than 10 Premier League games in a season. Forward Joe Shearer, who was born in Hammersmith, London, began his professional playing career at Chelsea and, coincidentally, established the record for the shortest Premier League career. Shearer began his professional career with the Blues in 1996, and it was in April 1997 when Chelsea and AFC Wimbledon, a team Shearer would subsequently play for, would square off. Gianfranco Zola, an Italian, was substituted with just minutes remaining in the match against the Dons, and Shearer went on to make his debut, a debut that would just last 60 seconds. Although Shearer stayed with the Blues until 2000, that was his final game for the team, making his spell in the Premier League the shortest of all time. Number 7, most relegations suffered by a player. Herman Hreidarsson and Nathan Blake, 5. Relegation is unquestionably the most devastating experience a football player can go through. It is a sign of failure, represents the undoing of hard work, and has significant effects on players' future careers. Some people have proven more likely to be demoted than others, and the Welsh-Icelandic duo of Hreidarsson and Blake continue to rule the relegation deities. Hreidarsson is the first player in division history to have experienced the drop with 5 different teams. He did it with London clubs Crystal Palace, Wimbledon, Charlton, Ipswich Town and subsequently Portsmouth. Blake, on the other hand, experienced relegation with Sheffield United during their first Premier League season before transferring to Bolton, where he did so twice, and then with Blackburn Rovers once. After that, he went through the anguish of being relegated while playing for Wolves, a team he had helped get promoted in 2003 before guiding back down the following season. Number 8, fewest points total. Derby County never recovered from the humiliation of finishing with just 11 points in the 2007 and 2008 campaign. The only game they won all season was against Newcastle, and Kenny Miller finished as the highest scorer with a total of 4 league goals. Number 9, worst transfer window. Strangely, Tottenham became the first team to ever play a full summer without bringing in a single player in the history of the Premier League. They didn't fail to purchase anyone in January, which made issues worse. Some would say that they are still suffering the consequences today. Number 10, highest possession percentage in a game that was lost. Liverpool, 80.6% versus Burnley. On the other hand, since this record started being tracked in 2003, this may also be seen as the lowest winning possession percentage, 19.4%, of any Premier League team. There truly isn't a perfect way to play the game, as evidenced by the fact that another record was broken this season. Jurgen Klopp's Liverpool fielded an attack-heavy team and mustered 26 shots on goal, only 5 of which were on target, frustrating and confusing Jurgen Klopp. Sam Vokes and Andre Gray's goals gave the Clarets the victory in the end, despite Liverpool's enormous efforts and dominance of possession. This was down to their tenacity at the back. In his post-game remarks, Sean Dyche added salt to the wounds by saying, "It was a myth that came out maybe 5 years ago that possession wins you games." Number 11, the longest start to a season without scoring. Crystal Palace went a total of 7 games without scoring a goal in the 2017-18 season, but it all ended when they defeated Chelsea. Number 12, most red cards. It will be up to City supporters to convince their younger fans that Richard Dunne wasn't all that terrible. At least he shares the regrettable record of 8 red cards with Patrick Vieira and Duncan Ferguson. Number 13, the quickest red card. This may be the case given that many Premier League fans likely recall Keith Gillespie as being quite the temperamental individual. He was dismissed from the game for Sheffield United over Reading after only 12 seconds. Famously, Steven Gerrard came dangerously close to doing that when he was dismissed from a match against Manchester United after only 38 seconds. With that, we've come to the end of our list. It is said that the only thing worse than being talked about is not being talked about at all. In some way or another, they have all at least made it into the history books. We would like to get your opinions on the records we mentioned and also other records you think are worthy to be on this list. We hope you enjoyed the video as we did making it. Also, make sure to watch this video in the link, and if you like our content, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and turn on your notifications. On the screen now should be another great video worth watching. So, click on that video and we will see you in the next video.